Our fathers were living comfortably. They had cattle and crops. They had salt marshes and banana trees. Suddenly, they saw a boat rising out of the great ocean. This boat had wings, all over white, sparkling like knives. White men came out of the water and spoke words no one understood. Our ancestors took fright. They said these were Vumbi, spirits returned from the dead. They pushed him back into the ocean and volleys of arrows. But the Vumbi spat fire with a noise of thunder. Many men were killed. Our ancestors fled. The chiefs and wise men said that these Vumbi were the former possessors of the land. From that time to our days now, the whites have brought us nothing but war and misery.
Most striking about the traditional societies of the Congo was their remarkable artwork: baskets, mats, pottery, copper and ironwork, and above all, wood carving. Its discovery had a strong influence on Picasso, who kept African art objects in his studio. Cubism was known only for Europeans, as it was partly inspired by traditional Congolese art. In a lot of traditional African sculpture, the body and figure are often broken apart and formed again in new ways and proportions that had lain beyond the sight of traditional European realism. We now know that, in what today is called DRC, lived over 200 different ethnic groups speaking 400 languages and dialects. With the potential opposition so fragmented, conquest for the Europeans would be relatively easy.
Leopold II was born in Brussels as the second but eldest surviving son of Leopold I and Louise of Orleans. He succeeded his father to the throne on the 17th of December 1865, reigning for exactly 44 years until his death. This was the longest reign of any Belgian monarch. The 1800s saw much of the world being colonised, and Leopold II's primary obsession was to get Belgium a colony. His eyes turned to the expeditions of Henry Morton Stanley, who was the first white man to cross the African continent and chart the Congo River. In Africa, Leopold II hoped for a slice of that magnificent African cake. Leopold commissioned Stanley and ordered him to get local chiefs to sign over their land. The chiefs had no written language and no idea what they were signing. To sign over one's land was unthinkable, but in exchange for trinkets, cloth, beads and gin, the chiefs gave up rights to all land, waterways, game, minerals, fishing, forestry and mining. Over 900,000 square miles had become the personal property of Leopold II. He used a public relations campaign to promote the idea he was creating an international free trade zone. At the Berlin Conference in 1884, this was endorsed, and in May 1885, Leopold II named his country the Congo Free State, in which everything was owned by the king. No African was consulted.
Ivory was the treasure of the era, exotic and expensive. Leopold smelled profit and demanded quantities of it. Stanley started sweeping through the jungle, buying or just taking all the ivory he could. At this time, Europe was entering the industrial age. The invention of the steamship, the car, and the electricity meant certain goods became much more valuable. Rubber was one of these goods. In 1898, the Goodyear factory in Akron, Ohio, made the first inflatable bicycle tire. In 1903, they started making car tires for Henry Ford. No one had more rubber than Leopold, for wine overflowing with sap grew wild in Congo's rainforest. 2 decades of rubber terror took place where Leopold turned the entire country into a slave labor camp, which killed 10 million people. The practice of chopping off the right hand became commonplace as punishment or to show that the soldiers had not used their bullets for hunting. For every bullet handed out, right hand would have to be returned. Profits poured into Belgium and Leopold built the Cinquanterre monument in Brussels, otherwise known as the Arch of the Severed Hand. When he died in 1909, Leopold made a huge personal fortune, over $1 billion. After his death, the Belgian government took over running the country and continued with business as usual. While pursuing rubber, they discovered huge deposits as diamonds, gold and iron, cobalt, copper, uranium, manganese and other precious metals. Major industrials such as car, military, electronics and jewelry became dependent on the resources, and while businessmen became rich, the Congolese became the poorest of the planet.
In 1960, Congo achieved independence from Belgium and elected Patrice Lumumba as Prime Minister. June 30th, 1960, Lumumba takes office. Lumumba wanted the wealth of the Congo to be utilized for the people of the Congo and Africa at large. Foreign mining interests were not going to let this happen, so Lumumba was assassinated on January 17, 1961, with Belgium, French, British, and the UN involvement. This crushing democracy in the Congo set back the advance of the entire African continent. In Lumumba's place, the UN installed a dictator, Mobutu, who stole so much from the country it ceased to function. In return for $1 billion, Mobutu allowed the project to continue. In 1994, a Rwandan invasion of Congo sparked a civil war that claimed 5.4 million lives. Today, Congo has estimated of $24 trillion in natural wealth, but its people are the poorest on the planet. Today in Congo, 2 million children face off starvation. Why is this? Well, it is connected to your mobile phone.
Fortunately for the Congolese, like 100 years ago with rubber, the DRC is home to many rare minerals that are used in your mobile. Armed militias profit from the trade in these rare minerals, and despite knowing this, global electronic and jewellery industries continue to buy them. Four minerals in particular, gold along with tin, tungsten and tantalum, 3 Ts, have fueled and continue to help sustain armed violence in Congo. These conflict minerals end up in consumer products such as mobile phones, jewellery and cars. Tantalum stores electricity in your phone. If you didn't have tantalum in your phone, it would die. Tungsten makes your phone vibrate, and tin is used as solder on circuit boards. Gold is used to coat the wiring and is the highest value metal in our electronics. So how do these minerals get from the DRC to your phone?
Armed groups in Congo act like a mafia. They control and tax the mines, using children to mine the minerals that they smuggle across the border to Rwanda and Uganda. These militias are making millions every year from stealing and smuggling out their resources. They use the profit to maintain control of access to mines, intimidate and punish populations with rape. Congo is the most dangerous place in the world to be a girl. The minerals are smuggled to Asia, where they are melted down and refined. Here they are mixed with other minerals and processed into compounds from mobile phones, iPods, Xbox, digital cameras and laptops. Finally, they are exported to our country, where we race to buy them.
The DRC has a lot of gold. Corrupt officials and warlords get rich from mining and selling it. $600 million in gold is smuggled out of the country each year. It is the easiest mineral to smuggle and most profitable. So how does gold make its way from the mine to your ring? In eastern Congo, gold is extracted by children and smuggled across the border into Uganda and Burundi, from where it is shipped to Dubai. Here it is refined and turned into jewellery. Some jewelers such as Signet and Tiffany & Co. have taken steps to invest responsibly in the Congo. However, other top jewelers such as Helzberg, Sears and Neiman Marcus continue to buy these products. We invite you to sign a petition to the companies who are continuing to support this trade in conflict gold.
Because we have power as consumers of these products, we can help the Congolese people. We have written to some of the worst jewellery and electronic companies, informing them that if they don't clean up their act, we will buy elsewhere. If they receive enough letters, they will change their practices. We invite you to send a letter too. Click on the link enoughproject.org, demand a supply to see a list of the companies, and the letter is already written.